So now, have you done any more auditory training, like formalized auditory training, since you did the 12 weeks?
Nope.
Could
No, I
you,
haven't.
and how do you feel like your processing is going now?
I feel as though my ears work better than most normal people.
So cool. You said that to me on the night, and I was just like, oh, this is so cool.
I think so. I think so. I pick up a lot more detail now, and I'm pretty sure that normal people don't.
Would you consider yourself still to have an auditory processing disorder?
That's a really good question. Would I? No. There's some situations I'd be weary about going into really loud bars and things like that. But I don't not go to things now because I know that I could go and watch a sports game at a bar and I could actually have fun rather than just being exhausted at the end of it. So no, I don't think I do. Yeah.
It's so funny because I feel the same way. Like, I feel like I can still relate to auditory processing disorder because I remember how it felt.
Yeah.
Now, all of us mishear things sometimes. So that is within normal limits. And there's going to be certain degrees of noise that are difficult for anyone. But my normal day-to-day situation is not affected by processing problems. My well-being isn't affected by processing problems. It doesn't control or restrict my life like it probably used to without me even being aware of it. That is so cool. So what is it that you do to keep your processing abilities up and going?
I love audiobooks, so that's a big one for me. I love music, so I listen to a lot of music as well. And one of the things that you said to me was about neuroplasticity and the brain's ability to develop. And I don't know what the scientific data is, but I'm pretty sure that like language, sound, and speech are all connected. So I don't just listen to audiobooks. I practice my reading as well. And I try to learn new words, which is really cool. And I'm interested now in how things are pronounced correctly. And it's so hard to explain. It's just, before I had therapy, I was really stunted. And now I just have this desire to learn and learn and learn. I don't know, I just have this desire to just learn as much about brains and language and as much as I can.
That is amazing. I love it. I love it. Because one of the things you said to me in your pre-interview is you were always surprised and amazed by people who learned new vocabulary. Do you remember saying that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, just reading and trying to speak clearly was so much effort. Like, it was just so hard that I couldn't comprehend ever getting past the basics. And now that it isn't hard anymore, I can understand now why people get passionate about the English language and the structure of language. I remember going through high school not even understanding the difference between verbs and nouns. Like, it was too much.
I often throw that in with children that I'm working with because I remember as a kid not even knowing where to start with verbs and nouns and adjectives. And then they had these things called Mad Libs. Have you ever heard of Mad Libs?
No.
So it's basically you have this list of different parts of speech and you have to fill in random words. And then that list actually matches up with a story or a letter or something like that, but you fill in the blanks. And then I started using really dirty words as a teenager in there. And Like, I made up some of the most atrociously disgusting, because adjectives, I mean, you can get farty and smelly, and there's lots of, I got way more disgusting than that, but I'll just go ahead and leave it at those. And so I started learning parts of speech through naughty words, because the amygdala loves weird stuff. And the weirder things are, the more our brain enjoys it. And the more chance we've got to take something from short-term memory to long-term memory. So that's super cool.
I'm in the process of reading The Idiot Brain, and it's so good. And it's talking about memory processing and the prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus, and
that's awesome.
It's
I've been teaching my daughter that a capital B looks like a butt with one cheek that's a little bit wrong. So at school, she's like, I drew a butt, and her teachers are like, anyway.